Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the TriJake Truth. My name is Jake Maulin, owner and founder of TriJake Fitness in Wellesley, Massachusetts, right down in Wellesley Square. I'm really excited about today's show. We're going to talk a lot about things that I'm very passionate about. We're going to talk about goal orientation, we're going to talk about motivation, we're going to talk about what inspires people to demand everything that they have and then some. We have a very special guest today, is Susan Gallant. She's a personal trainer. She's going to start working closely with the TriJake Fitness family. She's going to come on a little bit later. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with your core, figure out ways to get that six-pack abs, conquer the old cliche of abs are created in the kitchen, what that means, what you should be eating, what you can do to better your core strength and really get that rock-hard beach body ready here in March coming into the warmer seasons. So all that being said, I want to talk about one of my most favorite things, goals. And when I say goals, I want you to be thinking about things like races. Now, I am a runner first and a triathlete second. Now, I'm not saying that that has to be you, but I am saying that it is a good idea for you to get yourself aligned with some sort of goal. Oftentimes, I have clients come to me and they don't exactly know what it is that they want to do. And I think that's perfect. I tell those people, don't be discouraged because you haven't found your passion or you haven't connected with something that drives you. You don't know what makes you itch, that thing that's going to get you out of bed early in the morning and get active and stay active. The reason why I like when these people come in to my studio and we talk about this thing is because then they are allowed to become anybody they want. There's no limitations, and we will fight through any sort of preconceived limitations they may have to smash those down and conquer new goals. I often talk about practicing esteemable acts as a means to develop self-esteem or, better awareness or to be of service to our community. And I think that the fitness arena is a wonderful, wonderful arena to do this. So, let's get down to business now and talk a little bit about what I'm talking about with goals, goal orientation with the TriJake method, as well as things that are obtainable for you to smash and get through. So, we think about goal orientation. I like to think about three things. Okay, I like to think about something that is attainable, something that we can do, something that we can measure. I also like to think of something that is a challenge, something that we find that is difficult. An example that I often kind of call on is I'll ask somebody, do you think that you can run a 5K tomorrow? And they say, well, yeah. Probably not the best goal for that person because they're going to miss out on a crucial part of the TriJake Goal Orientation, which is the breakthrough stage, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And the third thing that I always try to look for in a goal is the element of something that you can work towards. So if your goal is to, say, run a marathon or run an Olympic triathlon or something along those lines, I think it's important to understand that there is ways to build up to that goal. Whereas, say, a half marathon or a marathon, goals to build up to that, an example would be a 5K. An example would be a 10K or a 5-miler or some sort of obstacle run, something along those lines. So I think those three elements really, really get you in a good position to pick out a good goal. Now let's talk a little bit about those people that don't exactly know what they want to do. They're sort of searching for that journey. They don't exactly know what drives them, what they love. Oftentimes I ask those people to start with running. And I don't just say that as a runner. I say that because running is pretty accessible. All you really need is a pair of sneakers, a pair of shorts, and a shirt. You're out the door and on your way. So I recommend to those people that they run 10 minutes, and I'm going to recommend to you that you run for 10 minutes. I don't care how far you go. I don't care how fast you go. Just run out your front door, 5 minutes out, turn around, 5 minutes back. See if you enjoy that. If you enjoy that, then perhaps you try it again. If you don't enjoy that, well, there's several things that you can try tomorrow. You can try things like plyometric jumping. You can try things like stadium stair climbing. You can try things like weightlifting. You can try things like cycling, both indoor and outdoor. These are all activities that people find enjoyment on a regular basis with. You just need to find what you're passionate about. Once you find that thing that drives you, that is when you can start to take further action. And that's when we really start to dial down how it is we can really sharpen our skills to become a better runner or a better cyclist or a better weightlifter. So we take a look at those things and we say, all right, let's just for intensive purposes say that we enjoyed our 10-minute run. So we enjoy our 10-minute run, we come back to the studio and we say, all right, how do you feel about running a 5K? If that seems like it's very easy, well then maybe we'll think about a 10K or a 5-miler. If that seems terribly easy, then I think a half marathon is usually an ideal distance. I like a half marathon as an ideal distance, and the reason why I do is because it's attainable to most. Most people can run 13 miles. They just don't know it yet. So the other, matching with our second goal orientation stage, is they will have to work up to that 13.1 mile barrier on race day, being as we can sign up for things like 5Ks and 10Ks and other races like obstacle races to prepare ourselves for that 13.1 mile Everest, if you will. And the third and final thing that we really want to focus on there for a minute is going to be the breakthrough or the doubt. I always recommend that when somebody creates a new goal for themselves, there should be an element of doubt. There needs to be this idea of almost surprise if you're going to make it or not. A client of mine the other day was asking me about the Leadville 100-mile race, which I plan to run in August. And they said, do you really think you can run 100 miles in Leadville? And I say, not always. Sometimes you put that doubt into a goal, and then when you break through that, that's where you really get that sense of empowerment. And that's really what I like to focus on with the idea of practicing good, esteemable acts to build self-esteem. So with that breakthrough of conquering all those races leading up to your half marathon and then running that half marathon, you are now empowered. You feel better about yourself than perhaps you did before. And that is a big deal. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. So what you do with this new accomplishment is you share it with your family and your friends, and hopefully they find some sort of inspiration to take from you. Goal orientation is incredibly important, and I encourage everybody that is interested in bettering themselves and getting involved in fitness to get involved with some sort of goal notation. And sometimes that first step is the action of taking time to go down to your local fitness center. You can come down to TriJake, talk to me, talk to a professional that does this for a living, talk to a personal trainer, talk to a coach, somebody that has some experience in setting goals, smashing goals, and launching you to the next level. Now, that's all I have to say about that, but I'm very excited about our next segment. In the next segment, we're going to bring on Susan Gallant. She is an experienced personal trainer. As I said before, she's going to be working very closely with the TriJake Fitness Company right here in Wellesley. She is going to talk a little bit about core strength. She's going to talk a little bit about six-pack abs. She's going to tell us what exactly it is you should be eating to sort of develop those line cuts here and the razor beach body that we see in all the commercials. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about what inspires her and what goals she has set for herself coming up in the summertime. So I'm looking forward to bringing her on the show, and she's coming up right now in our next segment. Thanks so much, and what are you doing for yourself today?